Welcome back to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We are in conversation with Pieter-Dirk. Ace. Peter, you still all right? You still okay? You still enjoying yourself? Having fun?
I am.
So you were talking about Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. Tell me about that, and had you ever met them?
Desmond Tutu actually was the first black South African I did in my show, because when I met him for the first time in 1985, and he said, "Hey, Peter, why am I not in your show?" And I thought, yeah. And I thought, but I'm not doing black people because I'm not a black people.
Yeah.
And but I did, so I started doing Desmond Tutu in the show. And we've been friends ever since, and I mean really not just friends, but soulmates. And the man is such a guardian angel.
Yes.
And
a good sense of humor.
Impeccable sense of humor, but he uses it as a balm for people who are pained and in agony. But Nelson Mandela also had this amazing sense of humor, which I think was, to me, what united the world.
Yeah.
I think one day somebody will get a degree on a thesis about how Nelson Mandela used a sense of humor to reconcile certainly the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, just an example where today constantly we have this onslaught of racism coming through the internet, and the using of the K word, and the using of monkeys, you know, the penny sparrow crap.
Horrible.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, the mere fact that people are angry at a stupid old woman who drank too much white wine and pressed send is also stupid. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
You know, hate speech is only diminished through love speech. In other words, you know, you counter that with the alternative, which is much more attractive.
It is.
I don't know if you will remember that some years ago, Nelson Mandela was no longer president, but he was living in Houghton. And they found in a police station in Pretoria, on a policeman's computer, the screensaver was a gorilla's face that becomes Mandela's face. Now you can imagine the reaction to that.
Yeah.
I mean, racism and this and apartheid, blah, 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 blah. And a journalist went to Houghton to Nelson Mandela, made an appointment to see him and said, "President Mandela, have you heard what happened in Pretoria?" "Oh, no, what happened in Pretoria?" They said, they found on the screensaver in a police station a gorilla's face that becomes your face. And Nelson Mandela said, "Of course, every gorilla wants my face." He diffused that like that.
Like that, yeah.
Now, instead of somebody making a joke, monkeys are not black people on the oh please, move on.
Yes.
But so now there, you know, and using the word racism to end a conversation is not helpful. No. People are wrong in their attitudes. Many white people are wrong in their attitudes.
Absolutely.
You know, and I keep on saying, well, then change your attitude. You do not use the obvious negative to fight what you're frightened of. You know, find out where you can actually reconcile. And use a bit of humor here, I mean, for goodness sake. So really, truly, I mean, I use humor as a weapon of mass distraction. You know, people don't expect to remember what they laughed at.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'm not that funny. I'm not funny. But the truth is just so bizarre and so obscene.
You don't think you're funny?
I don't think I'm funny. I think Evita is funny purely because she has no sense of humor. That's why she works.
Oh, yes.
You know, she doesn't make jokes. She's not like nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
She's not got no irony. When people laugh at Evita, she thinks it's quite sweet.
Yeah.
But and that's why she works. And also the fact that she doesn't use bad language.
No.
Not that I have anything against bad language, but she doesn't blaspheme.
Yes.
Huh?
She's a lady.
And she is family friendly.
Yes.
So the kids can also come along. And that's why she's lasted for 35 years.
How did she begin? Where did you
But also it was a way to find some sort of alphabet to tell what was happening. Info scandal time. You know, where suddenly we found that government was stealing money. Oh, please. You know.
That happens everywhere.
Of course. And the censor board had banned my 4 plays, my South African plays, so I couldn't put on my work. I wasn't allowed to do that, and nobody must say to me, "You may not do that," or you know.
Yeah.
You know. So I got the editor of a Sunday newspaper said, "Listen, we love what you do. Here's 100 words every week. Give me a column about the politics." And so I thought, okay, I'll be given a rand a word.
Yeah.
I think they still pay that now, a rand a word.
Yes.
So I could feed my cat. and I was hearing all this information about what is happening politically. But I thought, I'll create a character in my column, a lady, a Tannie in Pretoria. And so that's where this woman started meeting me at parties saying, oh, Scotty, have you heard what's happened? And after a year, I used her once a month in this column, and it was like 4 columns a month. This editor said to me, how can you say these things through her mouth? I'm not allowed to put them on the front page. This Evita of Pretoria. Yeah. So she gave her the name. He gave her the name Evita. It was time of the musical, the musical people. So I thought, well, that's a great blueprint for a life. So I read about Evita Perón from Argentina and started shaping the life of this Evita on her. Eventually, my Evita became the ambassador to a black homeland, and she came at the right time. I mean, it was just what the media wanted to divert attention from the fear and the teasing and the cartooning. And so that's where she started. And so it wasn't a case of me saying, I'm going to create a person who's going to be famous for the next 40 years.
It happened by chance.
It happened by chance, and it happened because she's led by politics. I mean, and now she's a member of the ANC, and they deserve her.
So so this happened all during apartheid.
Everything happened in my life during apartheid. You know.
So she's like an agony aunt and an old Tannie, and she's Afrikaans, and she's white, which is like everything all in one.
And she's got black grandchildren, which is even more important.
Yes.
Although she says they're not black, they're not white, they are Barack Obama beige. And she, really, truly, I really enjoy, and I was saying to you earlier on, she's got a reality show on YouTube.
Yes.
We're now on episode 66. Wow. We started over a year ago. Every Sunday, I get to my little venue, Evita Perón, at 7 o'clock in the morning with the Sunday papers, and there's Evita, always dressed in a different costume because people have reacted saying, they love the costume jewelry and the clothes, so you've got to do that as well. And she just comments on the news of the day, as a grandmother, as a citizen, as a designer Democrat, as a member of the ANC, all those bits of garbage and baggage that hang around her. And it's been a wonderful experience. And I mean, I'm getting reactions from all over the world, and it's really becoming something.
She's world famous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very nice to use the internet highway, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
This, and of course, the old camera.
Yeah. Helps.
They say the camera never lies. Liar.
We are in conversation with Pieter-Dirk here on Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We'll continue our chat next.